morning guys, and happy summer solstice. I thought I'd kick off a new weekly vlog today because I absolutely love the summer solstice. It's obviously the start of summer officially. It's the longest day of the year and I just absolutely love trying to celebrate it, so I thought it'd be really fun to start a vlog today. And I actually started the vlog way earlier this morning at about 4 o'clock. Jay and I actually got up at about 3:30 this morning to get up and get out so that we could go to a really cool spot to watch the sunrise. So we ended up going to this place called Armscliff Crag, which is about 25 minutes away from us, and it is basically this huge rock formation which essentially just gives you a panoramic view of the entire horizon, which means that it's perfect for watching both the sunrise and the sunset, and it was so beautiful. There were quite a few other people sat there watching the sunrise as well, and it was just so lovely. A little bit chilly, but we ended up warming up quite quickly because after the sunrise came up and most of the other people had left, we ended up doing some yoga because there's a tradition where a lot of people who like yoga do 108 sun salutations on the summer solstice. I don't really know exactly why this is because there are a few different reasons why 108 is like a significant number in yoga, but essentially that's just a tradition, so we decided to do that this morning, and it was such a beautiful spot to do some yoga, and 108 sun salutations is quite a lot of sun salutations, so it ended up warming us right up. And then by the time we got back it was like 6:30 in the morning, time for a cup of tea, and then pretty much we've just been doing some little jobs around the house, and now it's time for breakfast, which I'm so excited about because, like I said, I've been up since about 3:30, so I am so ready to eat something, and I think I'm going to make some pancakes. I feel like I make pancakes at least once in every single vlog at the moment because since we've been on lockdown I started off just making pancakes like on a Sunday as a little treat, but recently I've been having pancakes at least 3 times a week, and I'm not even sorry about it because they are just so delicious and I love them so much, and I keep like making the recipe even better. So I started off with just a super simple recipe that was just self-raising flour and almond milk, or like oat milk, whichever plant-based milk you want, and then I added in a mashed banana to make it a little bit sweeter, and then recently I've also been adding in some salted caramel vegan protein powder, which is so good. I think it helps them to like be a little bit more filling because you got the protein combination with the carbs, which I think definitely helps to keep you more satiated, but mainly I add it because salted caramel tastes so good. So that's what I'm going to be making now for some brunch, and then later on today I'm also going to do some reading. So just to give you a little bit of an update on what I'm reading at the moment, I've just started The Song of Achilles, and by just started I mean I'm literally 25 pages into this book, so I'm right at the beginning. I'm actually buddy reading this one along with Mary from the channel Mary Among Stories, and we're both so excited about it because I feel like we both feel like the only 2 people left who still need to read this book, so I'm looking forward to reading this one along with Mary, and that is probably going to be the main book that I end up reading this week because I have got a few other things going on, mostly in the sense that next weekend is my last ever weekend of yoga teacher training, so I have a lot of studying to do in terms of like making sure that I'm ready for my final exam, and so I don't know exactly how much reading I'm going to be doing in terms of reading for pleasure, but we'll just see how we get on. So that is what I'm doing today. It's Saturday and I'm about to go make my pancakes, and I'll keep you updated with food, books and everything else that I end up getting up to. Okay, so it's pretty much Sunday evening now, and I've had a very, very relaxed day, which started out with the sleep-in, which is something that I pretty much never do, but after staying up all the way from like 3 a.m. until the sun went down at like 11 p.m. last night, I was really, really tired and I slept in, which was a miracle because I don't just usually not sleep in because I don't want to. I literally can't. It's like my body cannot stay asleep past like 7 a.m. most days. But this morning I slept in, although slept in is like 8 a.m. for us. Like, it's not really that late because we never sleep in, but to me it felt like such a rest. And then I've just taken the rest of the day in a pretty relaxed way as well, just to recover from not only being awake for so many hours but also from doing all of those sun salutations. But now that it is the evening, I'm ready and feeling a little bit more energized to do some stuff that's not basically just chilling and watching YouTube videos. And although I would absolutely love to say that I'm about to start reading some of the Song of Achilles, the reality is that I have now got officially 1 week until I finish my yoga teacher training. So what I'm actually going to be reading is these cue cards, which are all about the muscles of the body and all of the things that you can think about to do with the muscles, as well as this anatomy book, which is all about the different yoga poses. And that is pretty much going to be my evening reading. Luckily, I do find it really, really interesting, and I'm now on the final push and just want to make sure that I'm super, super ready for my test next weekend. So that is pretty much my priority for this week. So I'm going to probably make a cup of tea and then settle down for some studying. I also just wanted to share that I have a little parcel that I thought would be quite fun to open. It's not bookish, but it is something else which I talk a lot about on this channel, and something I'm personally very excited for. So if I can get into it. Okay. Ooh, exciting. So I have got 2 loose leaf teas, which I'm super excited to try. The first one is cherry bakewell tea, which I just think is going to be so delicious. How yum does that sound? It's made with Chinese white tea, almond cranberries, hibiscus rosehip, apple currant, black currant, cornflowers, and it just sounds really yummy. I love cherry bakewell, so why not? And then I also have, this one is probably my most excited flavour, and that is apple strudel, which is made with rooibos tea, cinnamon, apple pieces, orange peel, lemon peel, hibiscus, rosehip. Oh my god, that sounds so good. So I actually saw this tea brand, it's called Bird and Blend Tea Company, on Grackle's channel. I'm not sure if anyone watches Grackle, but her channel is amazing. And she got a delivery from this company and had a discount code, and I love loose leaf tea, and this sounded like a really lovely brand, so I thought I would order some from them, and I'm really excited to try them. And I think I've also got a couple of samples in here as well. Ooh. Lovely. They send like a couple of mini samples. So there is a triple B, which is a super strong builder's tea, which will be delicious. And then also a morning kick, which is a lemon and ginger. So that's a really nice little touch. And then it also comes with a couple of iced tea and cold brew tea, like recipe cards. And also, that's so cute, it comes with like a handwritten note as well, which says, "Hi Kira, enjoy the tea," which is really lovely. I just love handwritten notes. I think I might actually have a cup of my tea in a minute, but I might actually go for the sample of the morning kick one. It's not morning, it's actually afternoon. However, I do feel like lemon and ginger just feels like a nice zesty tea, and it's actually quite a sunny day, and I feel like cherry bakewell and apple strudel feel like more cozy morning teas, so I feel like I might go for this lemon one instead, and I'll let you know how it tastes. So another day has absolutely flown by. It is now Monday evening and today has just felt like a little bit of a hectic and very busy day. Mostly just because we had to do our weekly food shop this morning. Jay and I then ended up going to Go Outdoors to get him a couple of things that he needed for a hike this weekend, and we also did a lovely walk at our local park, and I was so happy to see that they had the ice cream van there, because obviously there haven't really been any ice cream vans around recently, even though the weather has been lovely just because of lockdown, but restrictions here are starting to get lifted. So the ice cream van was there, and I don't know if this is the case all over, but at least in our local parks the Mr. Whippy ice cream van has a vegan Mr. Whippy, and it is so good. So I definitely enjoyed one of them, and since then pretty much just been chilling at home. Just did a little bit of yoga, like anatomy studying, and also tried to get into the Song of Achilles. I'm currently 70 pages into this book, and I do really love the writing style, but for some reason I am just really struggling with reading motivation this week. And to be honest, I have been for the last couple of weeks, and I think it's because in the back of my mind, every time I sit down to pick up a book, I know that I should probably be studying and it just doesn't feel like a priority. But at the same time, I do want to read this book because I'm enjoying it, and it's also almost the end of June, which means that the Make Your Myth Take a Readathon is almost over, and I got off to a great start in week 1, and then since then my progress has just dived right down. So I'm not doing so well with my plans for that readathon, but I figure I might be able to at least finish this book. So that is kind of my plan. So essentially I do need to do some more studying this evening for definite, but I'm going to make a cup of tea. I'm going to make a huge cup of Earl Grey and sit down to do a little bit of reading and then do some studying. And hopefully maybe like the combination of those two things and not doing either one for too long at the same time might stop me from procrastinating and getting distracted, because that is exactly what I've been doing pretty much all week. So let's hope that we have a better week this week. It's Monday, and hopefully I can get a little bit more productive and do what I need to do, but also get back into reading. Good morning guys, it's now Tuesday, and you can probably tell from my a little bit crazy hair that I've already had quite a busy morning. Jay and I actually got up really early today and went to go and play tennis. Now I'm a terrible tennis player, but it is really fun to do and just try and like forget about how bad you are and just try your best. However, the courts were so busy today because it was really sunny, and then when you're a really bad player and can't keep it in your own court, it becomes a whole other issue. But we did our best and played about an hour of tennis, and then we finished off our little morning workout with some stair sprints in the park, which are one of my, like, simultaneously one of my least favourite and favourite exercises. They are horrible to do while you're doing them because it is just so hard, but then when you finish them you feel so good, and it's also great because it's like a HIIT workout, so even though it's really difficult to do whilst you're doing it, it's over in about 10 minutes. And so we did a few of them, and now my hair looks crazy and I'm feeling very tired, but very accomplished as well. But essentially today I am just making the most of one of my last couple of days before my final block of yoga teacher training. So I'm hoping to do a fair bit of reading, but I thought I'd give you a little bit of a reading update because last night I managed to read up to page 103. I'm definitely enjoying this book, and one thing that I'm finding interesting is that relatively recently, in April actually, I read The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker, which is also a book which focuses on the story of Achilles, but this one is a little bit later on around the Trojan War, whereas in this one, although it's definitely going to lead up to that point, we're starting off a little bit earlier and getting the backstory between Patroclus and Achilles. And in The Silence of the Girls, Patroclus is like the best character and just like everyone's absolute favourite, and I absolutely loved him. And in this one he is obviously our protagonist, so I'm loving that it's from his perspective, but I also feel really bad for him because I feel like this is showing how difficult his background has been, and I just absolutely love him, but I'm so sad and concerned about what is going to happen because at the moment things are going relatively well. I really do not like Achilles' mum. She is horrible and I just don't understand why she doesn't like Patroclus, but essentially other than her and her presence in their life, like Achilles and Patroclus are having a pretty good time and everything is going well, and so I'm just a little bit worried because I know that it doesn't stay that good, and so in my mind I'm just wanting them to stay where they are right now, which is in the mountains with the centaur Chiron. I don't know how to pronounce that name properly, but I wish they'd just stay there because that just seems lovely and perfect, and I just think that that is exactly where they should stay, but I know that's not going to happen, so I'm a little bit reluctant to carry on reading because I feel like it's going to start to get really sad, because that is like the main thing I hear people saying about this book, is that it is really devastating, so I don't know if I'm ready for that. But other than that, I don't really have many plans, other than the fact that I have just had the sudden overwhelming urge to do some baking. So I fancy making myself some like cashew butter chocolate chip cookies, and Jay has requested that I make him some gingerbread, so that is on the cards for later on, and I'll of course show you the delicious things that I bake. But other than that, just chilling out, probably going to squeeze in some studying as well, but who knows.
Any ideas?
Love baking so much. Before I had this YouTube channel, I had a food blog, and technically that blog still exists, but I don't update it very often anymore just because I spend most of my time doing YouTube videos. But when I had that food blog, I used to make recipes all the time, come up with them from scratch and make all kinds of fun stuff, and it was so much fun, but also very expensive. And I feel like if money wasn't an object, I would bake all the time because I just think it's such a like meditative thing to do, and I just find it so relaxing and so much fun, and obviously you end up with really great food. And I had a lot of fun making these chocolate chip cookies. The gingerbread that I made is actually from a recipe that's on my blog, but these were like a new experimental recipe that I was just trying out today, and they look so good, and it was fun to just start like throwing stuff together and seeing how it goes. And these look delicious. They are essentially like a cashew butter chocolate chip cookie, obviously vegan, and the cashew butter is in replacement of like any butter or oil, and then I used almond flour and also buckwheat flour as the flours obviously, and so they're a relatively healthy cookie option and just so delicious looking. Haven't actually had one yet because I'm just about to go out for a walk with my mum and probably go for a coffee, so I'm going to save one of those cookies, or several of those cookies for being perfectly honest, for when I get back. And then I might try and squeeze in some reading, but to be honest this is turning into more of a regular vlog rather than a reading vlog because I just haven't really been doing that much reading, but that's fine. Some weeks are just like this and it's all good. So personally, I think it is very important to be able to recognise your own faults, admit when you've failed, when you've done a bad job, and just move on and get over it. So that is exactly what I'm going to do right now, because it's probably no surprise to any of you watching this vlog that I have been a terrible booktuber this week. I've probably read a grand total of maybe about 70 pages of this book, because I was already about 30 pages in when I started this vlog on Saturday. And I just haven't been finding very much time to read. I've been prioritising other things, and that is completely okay, but I think the chances of me finishing this book this evening, given that I've still got way over half of it to go, are very slim, and given that tomorrow is my last day of freedom before I get started on my final block of yoga teacher training, I don't think I'm going to get very much reading done then either. However, whilst this hasn't been a very good week for reading, it has been a much better week in terms of studying for yoga teacher training, which is obviously a big priority given given that I only have literally one block left. I feel like I've gotten in a much better habit with like working out this week, which is something that I've been trying to do since lockdown started, and I feel like I'm finally getting in a good schedule. We also had the summer solstice and I managed to stay up from 3 in the morning until like 11 at night, which is unheard of for me because I'm such an old lady. And of course I baked these delicious cookies, and so whilst it's not been the best week for reading, I do feel like it has been a pretty good week overall, and I'm happy with it. Some weeks are great for reading, other weeks not so much, and that's completely fine. So although this hasn't been probably the most interesting vlog in terms of reading updates, I hope you've enjoyed seeing all of the other things I've been getting up to, because I've actually had such a lovely few days. But I am going to finish up this reading vlog here. I'm definitely really enjoying The Song of Achilles. I think Madeline Miller has such a beautiful writing style. It's so captivating, and I already love Patroclus as a character, and I'm so invested in what's going to be happening to him. And just, I feel like the world that she builds around making you really invested in these characters and their individual lives, but also giving lots of additional context to do with like Greek civilization and also just all of the ancient gods, and the way that they interact with the mortals is just so interesting. And she manages to layer all of these things so well and just makes it so like educational and like contextual, but also just so beautiful and lyrical and just absolutely captivating. So I'm absolutely loving it, and we'll definitely keep updating you in future vlogs. I just don't think I'm going to be able to finish that one this week. So I've made myself a huge mug of tea, and I'm going to get settled down, drink this tea, dig into one of my delicious cookies. And start editing this vlog so that I don't have too much work to do whilst I'm in yoga teacher training later in the week. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed seeing everything that I've got up to for these past few days, and summer solstice, which was so incredible. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.